How's it going, film and TV fans? Welcome back to another review on the Off the Cuff Film Reviews YouTube channel, and the first review out of the spooky month. No longer spooky movies, at least for the most part anyway. Today, we're looking at one of my favourite movies ever made. Genuinely, I love this movie. My friend recommended me watching it. It was on Netflix, and it's got Colin Farrell and stuff in it. And I like Colin Farrell, and I like Brendan Gleeson as well, and it's got Ralph Fiennes in it as well. My friend recommended me watch it. I watched it, and I fucking love it. I've watched it twice now, and that is, of course, the 2008 comedy, black comedy in a way, I suppose, but not really, sort of like action thriller drama movie with a hint of comedy in there. In Bruges, directed by Martin McDowell, which we are going to be doing a Martin McDowell review series. That's what I'm starting with. In Bruges, we're going to move on to In Bruges Seven Psychopaths, three billboardings outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and of course his most recent film, The Banshees of Inisherin. So we're looking at all those movies. We're starting with, of course, his directorial debut, which in my opinion is my favourite of his films. I haven't seen Seven Psychopaths or Three Billboards yet, but I don't think he's going to get better than this movie. Banshees of Inisherin I have seen, and I think that's a really good film, but it's not quite as good as In Bruges. But this movie just feels so real to me. I love the performances from Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson here are absolutely fantastic. Ralph Fiennes is hilarious. It's got some real funny moments in it, but some real serious moments, and that's what I can appreciate the most about a movie. It knows about a movie like this, and it knows how to juggle its humour with its seriousness, obviously, because there's some moments where there's a scene in the movie, one of my favourite scenes, where he's having a conversation with what he believes to be an American, but is actually a Canadian, and we find out by the end of the film. In a restaurant, because he's out with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's smoking in these people's faces, but it's not like a big deal. But this Canadian guy has a go at him and he punches the Canadian. He goes, "That's for John Yellen, you Yankee fucking cunt." And that kind of stuff is like, it's a funny moment, it's a humorous moment. But then there's films later on in the scene where Colin Farrell's character is contemplating suicide, and he does nearly kill himself. Because in the beginning of the movie, we find out that he killed a child, sort of thing. So there is some serious topics, but there's also some humorous moments, and I think that's what I appreciate the most about a movie like this. It manages to balance everything so perfectly. Carter Burwell's score is pretty fucking good as well. He's a very good composer, very underrated composer, I think, as well. But there's some genuinely great moments in this movie. The two main characters have great chemistry. I do love seeing Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell in movies together. Obviously, there's a reunion between the two of them in Banshees of Inisherin, which is a really good movie, but I don't think it's quite as good as this film, personally. But In Bruges is a really good movie that I think is an underrated little gem of a film. It's fantastic. It has some, it's a really great portrayal of not only, serious elements of depression and suicide, but also what people would do to help their friends even when they're in a tough situation and things like that. Like, because there's a point in the movie where we find out Brendan Gleeson's character must kill Colin Farrell's character because of what he did, and Brendan Gleeson's character decides, I'm not actually going to kill you, I'm going to put you on a train somewhere, you're going to go somewhere away from In Bruges, and Harry's going to come to me, that's Ralph Fiennes' character, and I'm going to deal with it all, and you're going to go somewhere else and live a happy life. And just before the train leaves, Colin Farrell goes, "Oh, well, I might kill myself in a week or so anyway." And then Brendan Gleeson's looking at him like, "You won't, will you?" And then the train takes off. And it's things like that that's like great exploration of character development. I think there's some really nice shots as well. The cinematography's on pretty top form as well. For a directorial debut, it's a really, really good movie. It really, for me, just shines in every single way, shape or form of being so just momentously fun. And it never slows down or gets slow. That it hasn't got pacing problems. It works really well, and it adds the comedy at the right moments. It doesn't add them directly after Colin Farrell tries to kill himself. No, it's a bit, it's about 10 minutes later, so you get that kind of time to think about it and stuff. And there's also the whole thing with the dwarf, and they're shooting a movie in Bruges, and everything really comes together with this film, and I really think that's very evident if you watch it. In the UK, In Bruges is streaming on Netflix until the end of November, on the 30th of November. That's the last day. Whether or not, because sometimes they manage to renew agreements and keep movies, so whether or not In Bruges manages to stay on Netflix before, after November, is a different question in its entirety, but who knows? We'll find out at the end of this month anyway. Yeah, it's a very entertaining film for me. It's one I totally would recommend for anyone, because it's really fucking funny. And it's a nice it's essentially a movie about these two friends and what happens when one of them does a really bad thing. So I would highly recommend the film. I would suggest checking it on Netflix before it comes off of the platform, because it's a really well structured and made movie, and Martin McDowell was one of my favourite directors, slowly becoming. And yeah, I look forward to us looking at the Martin McDowell films. I'm not going to do it all in a row, because I've got See How They Run and Brian and Charles reviews coming up later on this weekend with the other movies. So I'm not going to do that all straight away, but we'll get onto them gradually. So thanks so much for watching this review of In Bruges. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to check out the movie and its soundtrack and things like that. It's fun doing the Halloween stuff, but it's nice to get back to doing, I wouldn't say normal movies, but, you know, non-spooky Halloween films. Yeah. The old intros, old outros even, are going to be back with the various different theme park music, so I look forward to that stuff when, just before the credits finish, when the video finishes. The Thought Park Pass collection is out now, so go check that out. The Adventure Island one is launching on November 15th, I think, something like that, who knows. Yeah, probably that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button down below. More views coming soon. I will eventually get round to making that Wii video. Fucking hell. That is... Jesus Christ, that's definitely been a long time coming. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And bye-bye. And bye-bye for now. Again, In Bruges is a fantastic movie. I recommend you check it out at your earliest convenience. Because it is fantastic. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And bye-bye for now.